The motivation for me, personally, is figuring out how the molecules work. I'm obsessed with trying to understand how chemicals that are just sort of linked together once you get to a certain scale and let evolution run for hundreds of million years suddenly seem to be alive. My name is Greg Alushin, and I head the Laboratory of Structural Biophysics and Mechanobiology. In my lab, we work on trying to understand how cells in your body can have a sense of touch, how they can feel pushing and pulling forces which they use to make decisions that impact where they go in the body, what types of cells they become, and also can cause lots of problems in things like cancer. We're really trying to understand how molecules in the cells can actually change their shape when they are exposed to forces, and how that can actually communicate information to the cell about what type of forces it's experiencing. How that's actually harnessed by the cell to basically make decisions in terms of changing which genes it turns on and off as it undergoes its function in the body. What deciding means for a cell is a little bit vague. We're really trying to understand how the arrangement of those molecules gives rise to behaviors that we perceive as being alive, such as being able to take in some sort of information and give an output that allows the cell to function. We really have no idea how molecules can do that. I find it a really interesting biophysical phenomenon that has, I think, pretty big implications for understanding how cells are alive. We like having people with different perspectives and different previous experiences because they usually bring something new and interesting to the lab. I wouldn't say there's one type of person that we select for. I do my best not to give too much day-to-day direction. I think it's good for people to have their space to steer their own projects and often come up with ideas more interesting than my own. I do think that there is potential for real intellectual breakthroughs in understanding how proteins work by examining them in this different context. How do they bridge between being chemicals and physical objects? I think that's something that is pretty fundamental to understanding how life works.